Chosen one. Pause for a moment, relax those tense shoulders, and listen closely. Your presence here, in this exact moment, is not an algorithmic coincidence, nor a meaningless accident of life. The universe operates in profoundly intricate ways, and it has gently guided you to exactly where you are meant to be. If you allow your mind to drift away even for a single second right now, you might miss an invaluable message, a key designed specifically for you to unlock long-standing blockages. There is a powerful, yet entirely silent shift happening within you. I know you have always felt that you operate on a different frequency compared to the rest of the world. You have always been the one standing in a crowded room, yet feeling a deep, quiet solitude, an invisible void that no one around you can truly touch or understand. You carry within you a rich inner world, a delicate capacity for empathy, acutely sensitive to the slightest shift in the emotions of others. But paradoxically, this very gift has become a mental burden, an anchor dragging your mind into chronic exhaustion. Those long nights spent tossing and turning, questioning your own worth. The times you forced a smile, wearing an armor of strength to be the solid pillar for everyone else. Meanwhile, in some hidden corner, your own soul was bleeding, yearning for someone to hold you, comfort you, and whisper, "It's okay, I'm here now." All that silent endurance was never for nothing. You have had to single-handedly carry wounds that you thought time had buried. But in reality, they have always been hiding there, dominating your subconscious, quietly shaping your behavioral patterns, and creating exhausting loops that keep you from true peace. But today, allow yourself to breathe a sigh of relief. The unnamed burdens you have carried through so many weary days and nights are beginning to be lifted by the light of truth. A gentle awakening is weaving through every cell of your body, a tender response to the unspoken prayers you sent into the void during your moments of deepest despair. You have never been invisible. Every effort to rise above, every hidden tear you shed, has been seen and acknowledged. If you feel this strange resonance, if your heart is softly trembling with a familiar warmth, type 111 in the comments below. This small action is not just a tap on a screen, it is the moment you allow yourself to lower your defenses and open your soul to receive pure energy. Affirm to yourself, "I am ready to receive healing." Your miracle right in this very second officially begins. For what feels like an incredibly long time, you have likely walked this path with an overwhelming sense of profound solitude. You have grown accustomed to soothing your own wounds, wiping away your own tears in the dark, and then, the very next morning, putting on a radiant smile to face the world. You have become a steadfast pillar for your family, your friends, and for everyone around you. But have you ever asked yourself, when you are tired and stumbling, who will be the one to catch you? You hide your vulnerabilities so well, so perfectly, that the world has unintentionally forgotten that you are only human too, that you also feel pain, and that you also need to be protected. But hear me when I say this. Not a single one of your silent efforts has been left behind. Not a single one of your sacrifices has fallen into an empty, meaningless void. The universe, or a greater natural order, has always been watching over your every step with a tenderness that words cannot fully describe. Even in the moments when you felt most abandoned, misunderstood, or pushed to the absolute edge of despair, there has always been an invisible energy holding you up. That energy kept you from collapsing entirely. It whispered tiny rays of hope into your mind, so you could keep breathing and keep moving forward. You are seen, you are understood, and you are completely loved, even in the darkest, most hidden corners of your soul that you have never dared to share with anyone. Let us speak for a moment about the exhaustion you are carrying within you right now. This is not ordinary physical fatigue that a deep sleep can cure. This is a depletion of the soul. From the perspective of behavioral psychology, this exhaustion stems from living for far too long in a state of hypervigilance. You have formed an unconscious belief that if you do not control everything, if you do not brace yourself to handle every detail, everything will fall apart. You continuously analyze, you constantly assess risks, and you take on the burden of other people's emotions as if they were your own. You force your brain to operate far beyond its limits to predict every possible scenario, simply because, deep down, you are terrified of instability. This need for control is actually a defense mechanism born from past traumas, a heavy shield you forged to protect yourself from ever being hurt again. But do you realize that carrying a heavy shield 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is draining every ounce of your life force? You are depleted because you are fighting against the natural flow of life, desperately clinging to things that are meant to be let go. However, there is a breathtaking truth hidden beneath this exhaustion. I want you to reframe what is happening to you right now. This feeling of collapse, of depression, of being entirely stuck that you are experiencing is absolutely not a punishment. Nor is it proof that you are inadequate or weak. On the contrary, this is a profoundly sacred tipping point. This exhaustion is your soul's way of speaking up, forcing you to stop. Your old cognitive frameworks, your old behavioral patterns, the urge to please everyone, the obsession with perfection, the blind self-sacrifice are slowly shattering, and they must shatter. You cannot carry an outdated, restrictive mindset into a brilliant new chapter of your life. Just as a caterpillar must endure the painful process of dissolving itself within the confines of a tight cocoon before transforming into a beautiful butterfly, what you are feeling feels like destruction, but its true essence is rebirth. The masks are falling away, the illusory expectations are being discarded, the burdens that never belonged to you are gradually being lifted. This shedding process might leave you feeling untethered as you lose what is familiar, but it is the only path to rediscovering your true self. Do not fear this shattering. Allow yourself to be vulnerable, to rest, and to surrender the illusion of control. You are being prepared to receive a power far greater, more serene, and more authentic than anything you have ever known. Let us delve deeper into the intricate architecture of your mind. Why do you find yourself exactly where you are today? Why do the same patterns seem to repeat themselves relentlessly, echoing through different faces, different places, but always leaving you with the exact same lingering feeling of emptiness and exhaustion? You may have asked yourself, time and time again, why you keep attracting the wrong people into your orbit. You wonder why golden opportunities seem to slip through your fingers just as you are about to grasp them, or why you find yourself trapped in the same painful emotional circumstances despite your most earnest, desperate efforts to change. It is incredibly easy to look at these repeating cycles and conclude that you are somehow cursed, or that the universe is actively punishing you for past mistakes you cannot even name. But this is a profound illusion, a trick played by a tired mind. What you are experiencing right now is not a punishment. It is, in fact, a deeply ingrained psychological survival mechanism. Your subconscious mind, the silent and relentless guardian of your existence, is simply trying to protect you. To truly understand this, we must look gently at how your brain was programmed in your earliest, most vulnerable years. When you experienced pain, abandonment, or a lack of emotional safety in the past, your mind, in its absolute brilliance, created a blueprint for survival. It learned to associate chaos with familiarity and unpredictability with the concept of home. So, when you find yourself repeatedly drawn into situations that drain your energy, or into relationships that demand you to shrink yourself just to keep the peace, it is absolutely not because you are flawed. It is not because you are broken or unworthy of healthy, unconditionally supportive love. It is simply because your nervous system is recognizing a familiar pattern. Your brain, seeking safety above all else, actually prefers the certainty of familiar pain over the vast, terrifying uncertainty of unknown joy. It is a protective loop, designed to keep you safe from the unpredictable, even if that so-called safety is actually a suffocating prison of your own making. You have been running on an outdated operating system, one that served you incredibly well when you were merely trying to survive a hostile environment, but one that is now actively hindering your ability to thrive. This realization is the first, most crucial step toward your true liberation. You are not a broken person making mistakes. You are a perfectly functioning human being, operating on an obsolete set of rules. Now, I want you to think back to the doors that were forcefully shut in your face. Think about the fervent prayers that seemed to evaporate into unanswered silence. Remember the relationships you begged to work out, the ones you poured your entire soul into, but which crumbled to dust anyway. Recall the career paths, the friendships, or the opportunities that inexplicably dissolved just when you needed them, the absolute most. At the time, it felt like a devastating loss. It felt like a cruel rejection from the universe itself, leaving you questioning your worth and your entire path. But I invite you to look at those moments now through the lens of this new, elevated understanding. What if every single one of those closed doors was actually an act of divine intervention? What if what you perceived as a bitter, agonizing loss was, in truth, an absolute and fierce form of protection? Your conscious mind can only see a few steps ahead on the path, driven by immediate desires, attachments, and fears. But your higher self, the greater awareness guiding the grand tapestry of your life, sees the entire map from above. It knew that the person you cried over would have eventually extinguished your inner light. It knew that the opportunity you chased so desperately would have kept you permanently trapped in a cycle of mediocrity and stress. The universe literally had to break your heart in order to save your soul. The delays you experienced were not denials. They were periods of meticulous, necessary preparation. You were being shielded from things that were never meant for you, so that a sacred space could be cleared for what truly belongs to you. And this brings us to the profound psychological shift that is happening within you at this very moment. You are standing at a monumental tipping point of awareness. You can feel it, can't you? A quiet, internal revolution is taking place. Think about how your reactions have subtly changed recently. There was a time, not so long ago, when you felt the burning, overwhelming need to explain yourself. You felt compelled to argue your point, to prove your worth and your pure intentions to people who were committed to misunderstanding you. You used to pour your precious energy into fixing others, into over-explaining your boundaries and defending your choices until you were completely mentally and physically exhausted. But now, something fundamental has shifted. You are beginning to lose the desire to argue. You no longer feel the frantic need to prove your intelligence, your goodness, or your value to anyone outside of yourself. When faced with chaos, drama, or disrespect, your immediate response is no longer to engage and fight, but to quietly step back and protect your peace. This silent withdrawal is not a sign of surrender, nor is it a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate manifestation of your newfound power. You are consciously choosing your own serenity over the fleeting, unstable validation of others. This shift in your psychology is the undeniable proof that you are ascending to a higher frequency of existence. You are no longer vibrating at the lower frequency of mere survival. You are actively calibrating to the frequency of true peace and abundance. The invisible trauma bonds that kept you tethered to the past are breaking, one by one. The neural pathways of fear and anxiety in your brain are actively rewiring themselves into expansive avenues of trust and inner calm. You are beginning to understand that true power lies not in controlling everything around you, but in mastering the stillness within you. If you can feel this profound sense of relief washing over your spirit right now, if you recognize this quiet, unshakable strength taking root in your mind, please take a moment to like this video. This simple action is a powerful micro-commitment. It is a physical, intentional signal to your subconscious mind that you acknowledge this beautiful transformation and that you are finally, truly ready to embrace the peace and clarity you have always deserved. As we transition into this next phase of your journey, I want you to imagine yourself standing before a vast, tranquil ocean under a canopy of 1 billion brilliant stars. The water is entirely still, reflecting the infinite expanse above, and the only sound is the gentle, rhythmic breathing of the tide. This boundless, serene space is a perfect reflection of your own inner landscape right now. You have arrived at the sacred threshold of profound healing and cognitive reframing. For so long, your mind has been a chaotic battlefield of anxious thoughts, a relentless command center trying to predict, manage, and manipulate every possible outcome. But now, it is time to lay down your heavy weapons. It is time to learn the delicate, beautiful, and liberating art of surrendering control. Surrendering is not about giving up on your dreams, and it is certainly not a declaration of defeat or weakness. Quite the opposite. Surrendering is the ultimate act of courage. It is the conscious, brave decision to loosen your exhausted grip on the steering wheel of life and trust that a higher wisdom knows the way. Think about how tightly you have been holding on to expectations, to timelines, to the specific, rigid ways you thought your life was supposed to unfold. That tight grip has caused you so much unnecessary suffering. When you constantly try to force outcomes, you inadvertently block the natural, abundant flow of life from reaching you. True growth, the kind of growth that permanently alters the trajectory of your soul, rarely announces itself with loud fanfare. It does not look like constant, exhausting upward movement or a perpetual state of overwhelming productivity. More often than not, true healing happens in the quietest, most unnoticed silences. It happens in the empty spaces between your thoughts. It happens in the moments when you finally stop trying to fix yourself and simply allow yourself to just be. Healing is the gentle, involuntary sigh your body lets out when you realize, perhaps for the very first time in your life, that you do not have to hold the entire world together. You can just let it spin. You can let the pieces fall where they may, knowing that whatever remains after the storm is exactly what was always meant to be yours. Allow yourself to step completely into this stream of acceptance. Feel the profound, physical relief that washes over you when you finally accept that you do not need to have all the answers right now. The immense pressure you have placed on your own shoulders is a heavy, artificial construct, and you have the absolute power to simply set it down. As you set down this burden, we must gently dismantle and completely redefine how you view your own self-worth. For years, you have been conditioned by a noisy, demanding world to believe that your value is inherently tied to your output, to your achievements, to how much pain you can endure, or to how perfectly you can contort yourself to fit into the unrealistic expectations of others. You have measured your worth by how much you can sacrifice for the people you love. But I am here to tell you, with absolute, unwavering certainty, that your worth was established the very moment you took your first breath. You are inherently valuable, simply because you exist. You are unconditionally loved, entirely cherished, and fiercely protected by the greater source of all creation. You do not need to perform to earn this love. You do not need to be flawlessly put together. You do not need to hide your scars, your doubts, or your messy, unpolished edges. You are a masterpiece in perpetual motion, and your perceived flaws are simply the unique brushstrokes that give your soul its breathtaking depth. Stop rushing on a timeline that was handed to you by a society that does not understand your unique spiritual blueprint. There is absolutely no need to panic because you think you are falling behind. You are not behind in life. You are exactly where you need to be to learn the specific lessons required for your next level of expansion. Everything that is destined for you, the love that will truly see you, the opportunities that will deeply fulfill you, the peace that will anchor you, will automatically find its way to you at the exact, divinely orchestrated moment. You cannot miss what is meant for you, and you do not need to frantically chase it. To align with this beautiful reality, you must actively nurture a deep, unshakable trust in the process. This requires intentionally shifting your focus away from the anxieties of an imaginary future and the regrets of an unchangeable past, and anchoring yourself firmly in the profound, electric power of the present moment. It is about consciously replacing the heavy, dense vibration of fear with the luminous, expansive frequency of faith. Faith is not about knowing exactly what will happen tomorrow. Faith is the quiet, internal knowing that no matter what happens, you will be entirely okay. You will be guided. You will be held. I want you to internalize this rhythm of trust. Let the truth of these words sink with the natural cadence of your own body. Every single breath you take is a sign of life flowing effortlessly through you, a continuous, undeniable proof that you are being sustained by a power greater than yourself. Every beat of your heart is a quiet, rhythmic reminder that you are deeply anchored in this present moment, safe, secure, and entirely whole. Every morning you wake up, it is a deliberate invitation from the universe to begin again, unburdened by the shadows of yesterday. Every step you take, even the ones that feel uncertain or hesitant in the dark, is paving a golden path toward your ultimate alignment. When doubt tries to creep back in, and it will, for the human mind is a creature of habit, do not fight it. Do not judge yourself for feeling fear. Simply observe it, acknowledge it gently, and then redirect your focus back to this rhythm of trust. Say to yourself in the quiet theater of your mind, I release the need to control. I trust the perfect timing of my life. I am completely open to receiving the abundance that is actively seeking me right now. As you repeat this, feel the physical tension melting away from your jaw, sliding down your neck, and releasing from your shoulders. Feel your chest expanding, making infinite room for a new, profound sense of peace. You are being rewired from the inside out. The neural pathways that once automatically defaulted to panic and hypervigilance are now being bathed in the soothing golden light of absolute trust. You are officially stepping out of the dense, restrictive energy of survival mode, and you are blooming into the effortless, magnificent state of receiving. Let this realization wash over you like a gentle wave, clearing away the debris of old insecurities. You are breaking the cycle. You are becoming the person you were always destined to be: radiant, peaceful, completely detached from drama, and deeply connected to the infinite wisdom of the universe. Breathe this truth in. Hold it safely within your heart. You are ready. You have now entered a state of profound receptivity. The walls of your old survival mechanisms have been gently lowered, and your mind is completely open to the truth of your own limitless potential. But recognizing your past patterns and embracing your inherent worth is only the first phase of this transformation. To truly break the gravitational pull of your old life and permanently anchor yourself in a reality of effortless abundance, we must look beyond mere thoughts and delve into the physical, energetic mechanics of your mind. There is a specific, biological reason why some people seem to effortlessly attract wealth, deep connections, and boundless opportunities, while others, despite their purest intentions and relentless hard work, remain perpetually stuck in cycles of lack and exhaustion. For decades, the answer to this profound disparity was deliberately obscured. Neuroscience has recently intersected with ancient energetic principles to reveal a stunning truth that was previously kept tightly guarded. Hidden deep within classified research documents and previously accessible only to a highly select, elite circle of individuals, lies the discovery of a specific neural pathway. Scientists have identified a dormant wealth activation center in the human brain, governed by a highly specific 7-second brainwave frequency. When you have spent years living in a state of hypervigilance, carrying the heavy emotional burdens we spoke of earlier, your brain fundamentally alters its frequency. It locks itself into a high-stress, chaotic state that literally repels prosperity, peace, and opportunity. It acts like an invisible, impenetrable shield, bouncing away the very blessings you are desperately praying for. No amount of positive thinking, forced affirmations, or grueling hard work can penetrate this biological barrier. This is why you have felt so incredibly frustrated. It was never a lack of effort on your part. You were simply trying to tune into a beautiful, abundant symphony using a radio that was biologically jammed on the wrong frequency. However, the breakthrough that is shifting the paradigm of human potential is finally here. Experts have successfully decoded the exact methodology to bypass this stress barrier and instantly awaken this dormant wealth center. By utilizing a newly revealed, scientifically backed 7-second brainwave ritual, you can effortlessly switch your mind from a state of anxious repulsion to a state of absolute magnetic attraction. People who have gained access to this closely guarded method are describing the results as nothing short of miraculous. Thousands of individuals, people who were standing exactly where you are right now, feeling drained, overlooked, and uncertain about their future, have already used this precise frequency to completely rewrite their financial and emotional destinies in a matter of days. They refer to it as the ultimate money magnet sound because of the astonishing speed at which it reshapes their reality, clearing away decades of energetic blockages and drawing in sudden, unexpected windfalls of abundance. You have endured enough pain. You have learned the hard lessons, and you have carried the weight of the world for far too long. The universe is now offering you the ultimate key to unlock the effortless prosperity that is your absolute birthright. You do not need to spend another decade struggling in the dark. The solution has been placed directly in your hands. Click the link in the description and the pinned comment below to access this 7-second brainwave method right now and awaken the immense prosperity that is already lying dormant within you. If you feel a brief flicker of doubt right now, if a small voice inside tells you that this sounds too incredibly simple or that you are not meant for such rapid, beautiful success, simply acknowledge that voice. Recognize it as the last, dying breath of your old survival programming, trying desperately to keep you tethered to your familiar comfort zone of struggle. Do not let that outdated fear dictate your brilliant future. You were guided to this exact message, at this precise second, for a monumental reason. The universe has aligned to bring this hidden truth directly to your screen. Step boldly into the life that has been waiting for you. Do not let this unprecedented opportunity slip through your fingers while you stand on the threshold of your ultimate liberation. Click the link in the description and the comments below immediately to activate your wealth-attracting brainwave before this classified information vanishes from the public eye once again. Your new, abundant reality begins with this single, courageous step. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, gently bring your awareness back to this present moment. Notice how fundamentally different your physical body and your mind feel right now compared to when we first began. The heavy, invisible armor you have worn for so long has been quietly laid to rest, and in its place is a profound, unshakable lightness. The transformation we have explored today is not some distant promise waiting for you in an imaginary future. It is a living reality that has already taken root deep within your subconscious. You are no longer the exact same person who started listening to this message just a short time ago. The old versions of you, the ones tethered to anxiety, exhausted by the relentless need to control, and burdened by the weight of unhealed behavioral patterns, have peacefully dissolved into the ether. You have officially crossed the sacred threshold, stepping out of the exhausting shadows of survival mode and into the radiant, calming warmth of your true, abundant nature. As you move forward from this exact second, you will begin to notice beautiful, undeniable shifts manifesting in your daily reality. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, you will not be greeted by the familiar, heavy dread or the racing thoughts of the past. Instead, you will wake up with a mind that is brilliantly clear and a heart that feels entirely at ease. The chaotic mental fog that once clouded your decisions will have completely evaporated, leaving behind a sharp, quiet intuition that will effortlessly guide your every step. The subconscious behavioral loops that once kept you trapped in unfulfilling cycles have been permanently short-circuited. From now on, when faced with situations that used to trigger panic or a desperate need to please others, you will find yourself responding with a calm, grounded certainty. You will naturally and easily attract people who respect your boundaries, opportunities that align with your highest good, and a level of prosperity that flows effortlessly into your life, simply because you are finally vibrating at the frequency of absolute worthiness. Remember that you are never walking this path alone. The universe is constantly holding your hand, orchestrating magnificent synchronicities on your behalf behind the scenes, and guiding you toward a life that is more beautiful than your conscious mind can currently comprehend. Hold securely onto this feeling of absolute peace. Let it be the strong, unyielding anchor that keeps you steady whenever the outside world temporarily tries to pull you back into chaos. Before we part ways, I invite you to perform one final act of aligned energy. If this message brought you comfort, if it validated the silent struggles you have bravely carried, and if it ignited a spark of profound hope within your soul, I ask you to share it. By doing so, you are not just passing along a message, you are actively planting a seed of light for another soul who might be sitting in the exact same quiet darkness you were just guided out of. Be the gentle bridge that helps someone else find their way home. Type "thank you" in the comments below to permanently seal this high vibrational energy and walk forward into your new, beautiful life with absolute certainty. The best is truly yet to come.